hope everybody is doing well. And my name is Aida Reyes.
And I'm Bob Hafner.
And we are the owners of the Phoenix Center for Healing. I'm a psychologist, and Bob is a
mental health counselor.
That's right. So tonight, we wanted to present on fears, and what we wanted to talk about is basically the focus of our attention. So let's look at what we fear. And so when I have a thought, and I have a fear thought, then I begin to focus on those things that are bringing me the fear, right? The more I focus on what brings me fear, the bigger it gets, because whatever you focus on expands. For example, notice the things you have in your life, right? You have things in your life. And these things that you have, like your home or whatever, you have focused your attention on it and you have manifested it, right? Okay. So the same thing happens with our fears and any thoughts that we have that are negative or are not healthy, okay? So think of something that you've been worrying about or you have been focusing your attention about. And I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about that. For example, have you ever noticed when someone crosses you or challenges something that you know really well, what happens? Don't you react in a way that is like reactive? Like in your mind, you must think, what's wrong with this person? Doesn't he know that I know what I'm doing, or I know these things, right? So whenever you react that way, you're making a belief. Like, let's say that, Bob challenges me on something that I know really well. And Bob says, no, I don't think it's that. I don't think you know what you're saying, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll say to him, but, I really know this really well. And deep down in my mind, I'm thinking, Bob must think I'm stupid, right? And so, because he doesn't, and I know he doesn't. So, but guess what? There's a little girl in me, a little part of me that does think that I'm stupid. Even though I'm smart, I have degrees, I'm successful in what I do. That little girl, she always thinks that, we're stupid. And why does my little girl think that? Because when she was little, that's what she heard. What, are you stupid? Why'd you do that? That was so stupid. How could you be so stupid? And then, I just kept hearing that over and over again.
Shame on you.
Right? And so these are our unhealthy beliefs, such as I'm stupid, I'm not good enough.
Well, I'm stupid is a real good one for young children. Be with you with the rest of your life unless you do something about it.
So what other belief? I'm bad.
I'm not good.
I'm not good, so I'm bad.
Something must be wrong with me.
Exactly. Things like that. And all of us have those beliefs. Why? Because we're human beings. And why? Because our parents didn't have manuals to teach us how to raise us. And they are just basically repeating the unhealthy patterns that they received when they were children, right? Okay. So whenever we get triggered, it is a little child part of us that is getting triggered, that is getting upset. And then let's say that we have a thought, okay? I heard something that I didn't like, and now I have a judgment. Like, he's dumb, he doesn't know what he's thinking, they don't like me, they don't really know me. If they only knew me, they know that that's not true, right? And these are the thoughts we have. And how long do you stay with these thoughts? Do you ruminate about them? Do you think about them? Do you go back and say, God, I wish I would have said this. Ah, man, I could have said this, right? And then we come up with the shoulda, coulda, woulda statements. And this is all happening in our mind. In the meantime, what's happening in your body? What are you experiencing? What are you feeling in that moment, right? Perhaps you're feeling discomfort, you're feeling maybe angry, or you're feeling kind of
irritated,
frustrated, right? You have all these things, all these feelings coming up. And so then these feelings start to amplify your focus of attention over and over and over again. And then you keep on thinking about it. And that focus of attention on this particular thought that maybe I am dumb, or maybe I am stupid, or maybe I should have done this, and why didn't I do that? That must mean that I am blank, right? And then more emotions come in. And so then now you find yourself like in this tornado of funk, and you can't get out of it, and it's right up here, okay? And so one of the things that we want to be able to do is to actually interrupt those thoughts with something that I want to show you. And we call it toning. And it's basically, you know, putting your hands to your mouth and just putting a sound, taking a deep breath through your nose like this, and putting a sound into your hands like this. And then holding that note as long as you possibly can. And do it at least 5 times. And as you do that, holding that note for at least 5 times, you're going to find that your mind starts to quiet. Right? Look at yourself. Yeah. See, my ADD kicked in. Your mind starts to quiet down, and then now you can challenge those thoughts. Because you can sit there and ruminate about this for hours, days, not talk to the person, be really upset, and just all you have to do is think of something and it brings up those emotions.
And that bitterness and resentment is right there and your body feels it.
Exactly.
Especially your mind.
So the more you focus your attention, the more emotions start to come in. And the more that you start to feel uncomfortable, the more you start to feel angry, the more... In fact, you don't even need anybody to get you as angry as you can get, do you? Because you can do that to yourself.
Self-talk.
Yeah. And so basically what we have to do is interrupt those thoughts. We have to interrupt them like, stop, stop, stop. That's not happening. That isn't happening. Stop that. Okay? And we have to challenge those beliefs. Is it true that I'm stupid? Well, no. The adult in me knows that I'm smart, I'm capable, I'm competent. And I've got to tell that little girl, hello, we've never been stupid. We've always been very, very smart. And that isn't true about you. And so then you want to interrupt those thoughts and say what is true about you. Why do we want you to do that? Because you have had years upon years upon years about thinking these things about yourself. These are unhealthy beliefs you hold about yourself that you have allowed to overtake you, and there goes your focus of attention. And then in your brain, there are neurons that are firing, and they have created this neural net because they fired and fired and fired together, so they wired together, and now there's a neural net that says, that holds the belief that I am stupid. So when that smells like whatever anybody is saying to me smells like they think I'm stupid.
When it's activated.
It activates that neural net and says, there it is. I'm stupid. And then a cascade of emotions come that bring up those original feelings that you had as a child, where you felt stupid, where you always felt stupid. And then now you don't need your parents around to tell you you're stupid, because guess what?
You do it yourself.
Exactly. I don't need them around me anymore because I've already internalized the voice. Not consciously, subconsciously. See? Because we are in our subconscious when we are children, and when we are in our subconscious, we are constantly recording everything that is going on around us. Okay? Would you like to share something about that?
Like for me, when I get into a funk, I remunerate over and over again. I could be out in the yard, and before I know it, an hour goes by, and I created this event, and it's really a false reality. I'm a Steven Spielberg making a movie in my own mind. And an hour later, the yard's cut, and I'm still thinking about it. So that's that funk that we get in. It's a sense of feeling a bitterness or a resentment, like something happened that you weren't treated correctly. And of course, that's the younger child, that wounded part of us that wants to do something about it. And how are you going to do something about it? Well, if we're not aware that this cycle can take you down a road to nowhere and affect relationships and be disturbed by just somebody's comment that colors your whole day, you need to stop it immediately. You have to be persistent and determined. Persistent and determined, along with being motivated. Because once you're in that funk and you stay in it, it's harder to get out. And then everybody you see, you're mad at. You can see it on your face. And also the mind-body, you can start getting an ulcer or colitis or whatever it may be. It affects our body. So for me to challenge that thought, it really works well because you don't want to trigger the fight or flight system, but it will create a parasympathetic, sympathetic response. When you're getting angry and you feel like you've been offended. So to challenge those thoughts and to tone using your breath to release with the hum. The tone. And when you're doing that, and you can do, if you do it for 20 seconds, do it for 15 seconds, a long tone, your brain hears it. It hears it. We hear it and we feel it. We experience the vibration, and so really, we're creating a learning experience. And when you're toning and you're releasing those feelings, it just can't. It's not only for sadness or anger. It's for
everything.
Everything. Feelings and emotions mixed in together. So when you release it, it's like a breath of fresh air. But after you do it, you have to change that belief, that original irrational belief. It's mandatory. And if you don't do it immediately, it's only going to increase at another time. And you ever get in an argument where all of a sudden a lot of stuff comes out that happened a month ago, a year ago, and well, that's because we're holding on to unhealthy events in our life that need to be healed. So to use the tone to release the energy. Feelings and emotion is about energy. Energy in, and that energy has to come out. If you keep swallowing it, this is where you get sick. It works really well.
Yes, it does. What I have found for myself and also for our clients and students, that we teach them the toning, to tone at least 5 times. And if you still feel the energy still in your body, that you still feel the pressure in your chest, you feel tightness or anything like that, but really you're upset, let's say, about something, rather than yelling and screaming at people, take yourself to your car or go outside or go to a place or just go in your bedroom and tell your family, listen, I'm going to go tone. I'll be out in a few minutes. And basically just go in there and just take a nice deep breath through your nose and then put the sound into your hand. The sound that you put into your hand is a note. That note that you are actually expressing is related to one of the energy points in your body. We call them chakras. Okay? And so once you tone long enough, the mind gets quiet, and now you challenge the belief. Is it true that I am blank? Like stupid, not enough, bad, shameful, whatever that might be, that belief that you're carrying there about yourself. The answer would be no. That will never be true about you. Because the truth is you are God. That soul in you is the sliver of God in you. So therefore, that is your true identity. Your ego is the personality part that has created all of these belief systems based on the environment you grew up in, based on your parents and how they treated you, right? And so once you challenge the belief and you replace it with the truth of who you are, I am smart, I am healthy with every breath that I take. Especially nowadays, everybody is all fearful about the COVID-19 virus going around. And so that is what you want to be able to do. If you tend to be a hypochondriac, like I'm a recovering hypochondriac, that is confession. Bob is, you didn't say it?
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Actually, more than me. So I thought that I was bad. So, but because of the fact that there's a little girl in us and he has a little boy in him that believes that they're sick, that any kind of sensation they feel in their body is like, oh no, is that the virus? Oh my God, I better look it up. Please don't do that. Because see, this little child is voraciously looking for information to be right.
And that cycle's beginning to start.
Exactly. That little child in us that is a hypochondriac, that believes that they're sick and that they have every symptom on the planet, and you are creating that in your mind. And whatever you create here in your mind, the body will follow. How many of us wake up one morning and have a scratchy throat and go, oh, I think I'm coming down with something. And then someone will say, hey, are you sick or something? And then I go, yeah, I think I'm coming down with something. By the end of the day, guess what? You have now
sick.
come down with something. Okay? And so what I've learned long, long ago when I started doing my personal work and doing mind-body work, I started saying this particular mantra that you can use as well. I encourage you to use it. With every breath that I take, my immune system gets stronger and stronger, and I am healthier and healthier. Thank you, God. Okay? So every time a fear comes through, like, oh no, I'm coughing, is that the virus? No, wake up, wake up. With every breath that I take, my immune system gets stronger and stronger, and I get healthier and healthier. That has allowed me, through these years, to really keep this little hypochondriac little child in check. And I do not look up things on WebMD. I used to do that many years ago. When I used to look up things on WebMD and I would read it, guess what? In a little while, I could actually manifest those symptoms in my body. That is the power of the mind over the body. So don't let your mind, okay, write the checks that your body can't cash. And don't allow yourself to get caught up in that loop of, oh no, here it is again. I'm getting sick again. Oh God, I'm sick again. Okay, that's it. You're done.
And that fear takes over. Once that fear gets rooted in you, it's difficult to release.
It absolutely is. Because you're going to get stuck in that loop. And now you're in a funk.
And you're going to keep searching.
Okay.
And it's going to build. And that negativity is going to build. And before you know it, your anxiety is a 10. It's off the chart.
It's off the charts. All you need to do at that point is get off the computer, stop looking things up. Because you are not going to be able to quell the need, the excessive, the voracious need of this little child to know if they are sick, because they want evidence and proof that they are sick. And see, this is what I have. And see, and they go into the doctor's office, and then the doctor says, nah, you're pretty okay. Right?
Yeah. One of the things when we have fear, especially fear creates the anxiety, the unknown, and fear, future events appearing real, F-E-A-R, future events appearing real. That's not our reality. And so when we're in that cycle, and that fear kicks in, we're going to be distracted. And once we get distracted, we're not going to be ourselves. We're not going to be that person that has logic and reasoning. The component to fear is an element of danger. And so with anxiety and depression and the feelings that get stuck in us, the way that the danger relates to us with the fear, you're either expecting danger, or we can be influenced by unexpected danger. But fear is about danger. Something's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. How can you figure something's going to happen when it hasn't happened? I mean, you can prepare for something that may happen. That would be useful. But when it becomes a little enmeshed in our uneasiness, dealing with the anxiety, it's harder to get out. And so rest assured, if you're having fear, it's about danger. And look,
or loss.
Or loss. So
Fear of loss.
Fear of loss. So look inside of what's going on. What is it all about? And is there an element of danger? And then when you define where the danger is, that awareness goes, wow, that's not going to happen to me. But see, anxiety, we don't know. We can't figure it out. We don't have the awareness when we're in that funk. So that's why it's great to do the toning and recognize that perhaps I am fearful. Your body knows when you're fearful. You feel the pain when it happens. It hits you. Like for me, certain fear events gets me right in my solar plexus. And so what I have to do is I have to take deep breaths and release the fear with my breath. And so with me, that's a sympathetic shock cycle response for that event. And that cortisol builds up. And when you get a hit of cortisol, sometimes it takes a good 20 to 30 minutes to get out of your system. You also can wake up really quick that night, like wide awake. You heard a noise, and somebody's coming in the house. Your heart's pounding, your physiology has increased, your heart rate, sweaty hands. Your logic and reasoning seems to be faltering sometimes too when we're in that element of danger, that fearful, unrealistic reality that we think is real. It's a false reality. So recognize it in your body. It presents differently for different people when you get that hit of fear. But when it comes, your body feels it, and it's not good. You could be watching TV in a commercial, or an event on the news can come across and trigger the fear cycle in you.
Headlines in red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recognizing it and understanding it is the way out. And that's what we do. We work a lot with PTSD symptoms with individuals with the anxiety that's connected to a traumatic event and the fear that's connected to it. And this is what we tell the people with the toning, how to do it.
Okay, so to recap, you want to be able to practice doing a self-assessment. And so what is a self-assessment? Well, let's say that something happens and you find yourself with a lot of emotion. Or let's just say that, like you've worked a long day, you're tired, you get home, you get easily triggered by something that, your husband didn't do, or the kids are, not, showered yet, or they haven't had dinner and it's time to go to bed soon. When you start to feel the tension of all that, plus all the work that you've done, you also got to look at halts: hungry, angry, lonely, tired, and sick. If any of those things are happening, hungry, angry, lonely, tired, or sick, you are not going to be able to reason and process properly. Okay? And so then what would help is if you notice what you're feeling. Okay, what am I feeling? This is the self-assessment. What am I thinking about what I'm feeling? What brought up these feelings? And there was most definitely a thought that brought up those feelings, okay? Or a sound of some sort. Those thoughts have to get challenged. If you don't challenge them, they're going to run away like a freight train, okay? And it's going to jump on the what-if train, and it's going to always crash in Doomsville. So here's what we want you to do. We want you to pay attention. What was the thought? What's the belief I'm making about myself here? About how I didn't handle it, how I did handle it, how I handled it poorly, the judgments I have about myself. And I have to now interrupt that by telling myself, what's the belief I'm making here? Now I'm going to tone. And now I'm going to take my breath, put a sound in my hands, and I'm going to hold that note until I have no more breath. Each time I take a deep breath, and I do it at least 5 times.
Breathing through your nose.
In through your nose and out through your mouth with the sound. Okay? And hold it as long as you can. Each time you're going to hear it longer and longer. And your brain will hyper-focus on that sound. Your body is going to follow because this is energy that needs to be released.
Visualize it in your mind.
Yeah, or visualize the energy coming out of your body. You can set the intention. I'm going to get all this energy out of my body by the time I'm done toning 5 times. And then we're going to challenge the belief. Is it true that I am stupid, bad, worthless? And then the adult's going to say, no, it's not. What is true about me? I am powerful, I am competent, I am smart, I am beautiful, all of those things that are true about you.
Intelligent.
We need to interrupt those neural nets that are firing together. We want to break that up. And you have a judgment about yourself, like, oh my God, that was so dumb. Stop. That's not true. You aren't dumb. You are very smart. And so you want to interrupt these processes, okay? Because if you don't interrupt this, you're going to be a slave to this.
It's mandatory to interrupt it because those communication highways that we have, those avenues, maps all throughout our brain, recorded from the past, still operating.
Okay. So we want to be able to leave you with some soft, music. Good. Some soft music, and so just go and just close and take a deep breath in and hold it in your heart and gently release the breath down your spine and feel it going down into the earth. Take another nice deep breath in. And gently release the breath down your spine and just feel yourself relaxing and calming and coming to a peaceful place. And now let's put into our mind and focus our attention on how blessed we are to be on the earth. Let those things that you have gratitude about come to mind. What are you grateful for? And begin to focus your attention on the grace that you're experiencing when you begin to focus on gratitude. I am grateful for my family. I am grateful for Bob. I am grateful for the beautiful home that we live in the beautiful Redlands that we live in. I'm grateful for my little dog, Indy. I'm grateful for my beautiful family, my son, my daughter-in-law, my grandchildren, my brother, my sisters. They're my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my nieces and nephews, and all that I have and all that I am. So let yourself become aware of what you are grateful for. And notice that the focus of your attention is on gratitude. And notice how it changes your experience in your body and how it quiets your mind and brings you to a peaceful, graceful place. And so set your intention for tonight and how you want to wake up tomorrow. And so Divine Father, Divine Mother, we thank you for the opportunity to gather this evening, to be able to share our teachings with you all, We encourage you to share this on your page, share this information with others, because you never know who really needs to hear this and how this can make a difference in their life. So now I'm going to count from 1 to 5, and you're going to all come back into the room with lots and lots of energy, feeling great in every way, knowing that when you lay your head to your pillow tonight, you will fall into a nice, deep, and restful sleep and wake up alert, refreshed, and ready to start your day tomorrow. 1, feel the energy coming back. 2, feeling relaxed and refreshed. 3, with lots and lots of energy. 4, feeling peace and calm in your heart. And 5, wide awake, open your eyes, relaxed and refreshed. Thank you so much for joining us, and we bid you farewell and adieu. Stay safe, stay healthy. Blessed be.
Blessed be, my friends.
Take care. Bye.
Blessings. Bye, you guys.